Hello, YouTube. Russian pilots are increasingly encountering UFOs during their flights. And we're speaking about early 2025. What are these mysterious objects? Well, the Russian government knows that the Russian pilots often encounter unidentified flying objects, UFOs, during their flights. In most cases, they turn out to be balloons, probes, and even debris lifted into the sky from the ground by air currents. However, this topic still stirs the imagination of passengers and even provokes their fears related to flight safety. Well, Russian media has found out what such phenomena can be and whether they're really worth being afraid of. I'm pretty sure that the Russian media also follows the official guidelines and has to provide an explanation to calm people down. So, what unidentified objects do the pilots see in the sky? So, in March, the pilots of an airplane of one of the domestic airlines saw a UFO. The incident occurred with an Airbus A320 flying from Marienburg to Moscow. The crew members reported seeing a red sphere with a basket below the flight altitude. The air defense authorities were notified of the incident. Despite the incident, the flight landed safely at the destination airport. No one was injured. A few days earlier, pilots of another Russian airline, Azimut, also noticed an unknown object in the sky. During the flight from Penza to Mineralnye Vody, the carrier's staff reported seeing a silver ball or sphere. At the same time, there was no threat to flight safety. At the end of February, an unidentified object in the sky was seen by the pilots of an Airbus A319 heading from St. Petersburg to Chelyabinsk. Almost immediately after departure, the crew reported a gray ball or sphere in the sky. Periodically, pilots report phantom marks on the radar. In January, crew members of Boeing 737 Flight 800U TER en route from Ufa to Surgut saw several marks on the traffic collision avoidance system device. The purity of the marks was unknown. At the same time, other airlines were absent at all at the altitudes of the moment of that moment. It was clarified that the aircraft commander continued the flight. As a result, the flight landed safely at the destination airport. In an interview with the Russian media, the honored military pilot of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Popov, said that such phenomena are often associated with the appearance of certain illusions among pilots during flight. From different angles with a certain illumination of the sun or moonlight, they may see some unidentified objects. It should be noted that the pilot observes a similar phenomenon at the time of its flight. He just can't stop and start examining everything carefully. Therefore, he often represents something more than he actually saw. It's all psychology and the possibilities of the brain. Moreover, the expert pointed out one should not forget about various kinds of natural phenomena, for example, the fall of meteorites or electromagnetic radiation, which can manifest themselves in a particular way in the air and outer space. But I do not exclude the fact that there may be some physical objects in the sky, he continued. We're talking about balloons, probes, airships, drones, or even debris lifted from the ground by air currents. Should we be afraid of such objects in the sky? Speaking about the danger that such UFOs can pose to passengers, Popov noted that it is necessary to consider the nature of their occurrence. As a rule, such phenomena caused by changes in the weather are not critical for flights. If the pilot suddenly encounters, say, a probe or a balloon in the sky, then this already creates certain risks, he explained. All these objects can get into the aerodynamic controls, keel, stabilizer. The story is not critical, but there is a risk of inconvenience or even emergency situations. According to the pilot, if a solid object like a drone gets into the engine, it can start pumping, so to say. In the worst case, a fire occurs, but this is usually no more than 2 to 3% of all situations that occur in the air. This is what the official explanation is today. In my channel, you can see reports of sightings from modern Russia and post-Soviet countries. There are various playlists that explain to you the subjects that are covered in my videos. Today, I wanted you to see the official take on the phenomenon, but reality is much more complex. You can see the history of modern Soviet and Russian ufology in my videos, military and scientific research, hidden from civilian eyes for decades. And you will see my research of USOs that spans decades, for example, unidentified submersible objects, of course UFOs, but also related phenomena. Let me conclude. For all those who crave disclosure, you are in the West mostly, people who watch my videos. Your so-called experts know almost nothing about Russian and Chinese UFO research. That they do not tell you that there is no demand for the disclosure in Russia or China. I'm sure a number of people want to know, but it's not like a mass movement. But I noticed that most people who do step forward to talk about UFOs in Russia are genuinely experienced, some with battlefield experience, knowledgeable experts who had actually researched something, some going back to the Soviet times. I see few conspiracy theories and dark occult accusations, less hype that is inherent in recent American pop-ups, so to say. But trust me, there are a lot of people relatively in Russia as well who tell you nonsense about UFO crashes and captured aliens and hidden chamber with alien corpses and so forth. But there are some people. But I also see a lot of ignorance among the American experts when it comes to Russia and China. Gullibility or intentionally disseminated nonsensical stories. So I will destroy such ignorance and I'll dispel such gullibility to the best of my abilities. But I urge you to pay attention to the areas where important events are taking place today. As I said for years, but now you can actually see developments that are taking place. The Arctic, the Coral Islands, Chinese and Russian Antarctica research areas, Marianas Trench. There are some more, but I want you to pay attention to these ones. See my videos. Thank you for your attention to my work. If you can support my research, please kindly do so through the links you'll find in the description to this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Please hit the notification button so YouTube doesn't forget about my existence. Please tell others about my work. Thank you.